Since the rise of short form video, I realized that spending my time staring at a little rectangle in front of my face isn't how I want to live my life. And I don't say that in a shaming way. I don't even say that in an anti-social media way. What I mean is life goes quick. I only have one life, and there are just better ways that I'd like to be spending my time. So without further ado, here are a bunch of things that I've done personally to design my life so that it's more analog, I'm off of my phone, and I'm happy with how I spend my free time. Number one, reinvigorate your nightly routine by removing your phone from your room. I used to be in such a bad habit of scrolling in bed. I would take my phone with me to bed and then just scroll a little to fall asleep because I used to think it would wind me down. But when I actually pay attention to how I feel when I scroll, it's usually not very relaxing. It's overstimulating. One of the things that I did to stop this habit was putting this little charger right outside of my room. So there's the entrance to my bedroom, there's the charger. And all I have to do as I'm walking to my bedroom, phone in hand, is literally just plop my phone on here and it sticks on its own. And it charges overnight. I'm pretty sure I filmed myself setting this up in my New Year's reset videos. I love it. And this, along with a few of the other changes I'm going to talk about in this video, life-changing. Number two, I redesigned my bedside table. Think about the apps that you feel you need before bed or in the morning. It could be the news app, it could be your audiobooks. Maybe in the morning you like to wake up by reading and then you just always happen to end up scrolling. Maybe like me, you want a little word search before bed, and then think of analog ways to replace those apps where you get the same need filled, but there's no risk of you ending up scrolling on your phone. For example, instead of the word search app, which I would use before bed to wind down, I replaced that with a more analog option, a word search book, which leads to the next thing that I've done, getting a really sluggish and slow tablet like this one. A lot of the time when I go to sleep, I want to listen to audiobooks, which would mean having my phone right near me as I went to sleep and on waking up. So I grabbed this tablet, which I already actually had. This tablet takes 2 minutes to open any app. It's so bad, and usually that would be a bad thing, but I want to train my mind to be a bit more comfortable with friction and not need instant gratification. And this was a great training tool. When I go onto my Facebook Marketplace, you can pick a tablet like this up for like $50 or less. I installed the Libby app, which is available all over the world if you have a library that's connected to it, so I can get my free audiobooks every other night. I also got cheap wired headphones. Number three, make your chores visible. So maybe you want to scroll less because you want to live your life more, but also it can be nice to scroll less so that you can make time to do things that make it easier for you to live your life more, like tidying and cleaning. For me personally, I just feel more at peace when my house is clean. My mind just feels more in order. And to make it more likely that during my off time, during my free time, I might tidy, I have a list of cleaning tasks separated by room in my hallway, the center of my house. I used to have this online. I had it in my Notion. If you have my Notion pack, that's what I've always used. But then this year I was like, I need to make it more visible, more analog, less reliant on being online. So I laminated a little list. I'm also of the opinion that you need a cleaning checklist that breaks things down to this degree or even more, especially if you're someone who feels overwhelmed by cleaning. I beg of you, break down what it looks like to clean each room in your house, put it into a list. You should at no point in time be having to think hard about what to do next when you're cleaning if you already struggle with cleaning. Plus, if you do live with anyone, roommates, a partner, whatever, it makes the work visible. Next, get yourself a little problem-solving journal. There's this therapy technique that you might have heard of, and it's called worry hour. Basically, if you feel yourself worrying or ruminating during the day, you write down whatever you're worrying about and you go, I'm going to think about that during worry hour. And the basic idea is that when worry hour comes, you probably won't want to think about it because a lot of the time our mind just magnifies our worries to ridiculous proportions. But for me personally, I like to do something similar, but I actually do like to journal to problem solve. So if during the day I have some kind of worry and I'm like, look, this is taking over my brain, or if there's just a problem that's on my mind and I'm like, this is really distracting me, I put it down in my little book. And then when I want to journal, I have a whole list of things that I could journal on. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, it's worth spending my time sitting down and writing on that. And I really like this as a way to spend my free time. I think sometimes if you're someone who's like, oh, I want to journal, sometimes you go, what am I going to journal on? But creating a little worry log or a problem log in a journal, immediately you have things to fill your free time with. It also helps if you actually know how to journal on things in a way that's helpful and isn't just rumination. Give yourself assigned social media time. Almost every day I'll sit down, usually on this very chair, I'll yell at my Google Home and I'll say, could you set a timer for 20 minutes? And then I'll do my daily scroll. And I think this sounds counterintuitive to the whole idea behind this video of being on your phone less, but I've been on this journey. I've tried the doing absolutely no social media. And what I've found pretty consistently is that if I have an assigned amount of time on social media, I don't want to go on it anywhere near as much. I kind of think everyone has a fullness point when it comes to social media. And the same way you have a fullness point when you're eating sweets. Some people are a little better at being like, oh, I'm full, I'm done, I'm putting my phone down. And other people, me included, have to work a little harder and be a bit more mindful to notice that fullness cue that says, okay, we're done. What I'd really recommend is finding your fullness cue. So I'll have that video linked if you want to hear me talk more about it. But basically it's just sitting on your phone and paying attention. If you're in the intention membership, I have a link down below for you to join. I actually have a scroll with intention session available It's a 30-minute scrolling session where I check in every 5 minutes or so, and I do a bit of a mindfulness practice so that you can become a bit more aware of how you're feeling while you're scrolling. If you struggle with mindless scrolling, this is such a good resource. Link down below. For those of you who want a bit more guidance and want an actual tool that'll help them to break the scrolling pattern, that link will be down below. Put this front and center on your phone. On my phone home screen, I have this. It's the first thing I see when I open my phone. It's at the very top of my home screen. And it's just a gentle reminder of my intention when it comes to using my phone. Once again, I'm not really anti-scrolling. I'm just anti-scrolling being your only hobby. I have seen a study to say that if you have a really emotionally tolling job, it actually can be helpful to scroll to unwind. So 10-20 minutes of scrolling after work can be really good for your brain as a bit of a reset. But in general, I just think that sometimes 20 minutes of sitting and doing nothing can be a lot more cleansing for your brain than 20 minutes of scrolling. And I do love a scroll. Get a brick or a brick equivalent. I use my brick app every single day. I actually have 3 brick sessions scheduled because sometimes I unbrick during the day and I forget to re-brick. So breaking my day up into 3 parts kind of makes sure that my phone re-bricks itself. I find brick so helpful when you scroll, not because you want to scroll, but because you actually have like an itch in your brain that plays out without your awareness, where you just open social media and all of a sudden you're 5 years deep and you're like, how did I get here? I find that's very much my pattern with social media. A lot of the time, I'm not clicking onto a social media app and going, oof, I'm so excited for a little scroll, unless I'm using my set aside time. But more so, I just click it without thinking. And then I'm scrolling and then I'm like, how did I get here? And having a brick or something like that that just blocks you from your social media apps, unfortunately, it is life-changing. I do love Brick the brand, but there are also a lot of alternatives if you're on a budget. I've seen a few TikToks from people who know how to create something like a brick for free, so I'll have those linked below if I can find them. Next, become a movie watcher. I literally just came across an article talking about how film professors are struggling to even get film students to sit through films. And it's crazy that watching a movie has such a different energy to sitting and scrolling on TikTok. Watching a movie gives reading a book in this era. I have a page on my Notion that has morphed and grown, and it's full of movie recommendations. I've actually had 2 friends that I know have good taste in movies and actually know things about movies, unlike me, to send me a bunch of recommendations, because spending your free time watching a good, thought-provoking movie, in my mind, is just a way more intentional way to spend your time. Some movies stick with you for days, weeks, years, if they're good. And curating a little list of movies that you want to watch doesn't have to be a list of life-changing movies, just a list of movies that you're like, oh, I think that would be good for my brain, is a good way to take one step away from yourself. You no longer have to think about what am I going to watch. You just go to your little list of movies, you pick a movie a week, a movie a month, and do that instead of scrolling. Next, do the comfy chair exercise when you know that you have free time. This is something that I've talked about before that I know a few of you have really liked, and it is the comfy chair exercise. And it's not originally from me, it's from a guy called Michael Neal, who I love. And all it is this. The next time that you have some free time and your brain immediately goes, I'm gonna pick up my phone and scroll. Instead, try sitting somewhere comfortable, hence the comfy chair exercise. It doesn't actually have to be a comfy chair, obviously. And just waiting for an urge to do something. And this could be something productive, but it could also be something fun and enjoyable. It doesn't really matter, but it just has to be something that's not scrolling on your phone. I think scrolling on your phone is such a default option for your brain. It's like the easiest way for it to get a little jolt of something. But when you actually take the time to sit there, be bored, so don't have anything distracting you, and just sort of wait, I promise you that after enough waiting, eventually you'll be like, you know what I really want to do? Clean that annoying part of my house out. You know what I really want to do? Learn how to wrap my presents in a way that doesn't make me look like I am 5 years old. That was projection. And this isn't something that you have to do every day, just simply when you have the free time. For example, it's a Sunday morning and your brain is defaulting to let's pick up our phone and scroll. Instead, throw the phone across the room, sit down, raw dog reality, or just be with your thoughts. And keep in mind, you'll get the urge to go on your phone. Let that urge exist, move your attention back to the present, and then notice what other urges come up. It's almost like meditation, but you're meditating and waiting for an urge or a desire or a motivation, if you want to frame it that way. I promise you, you will feel motivated to do things that are not scrolling, that are analog, that you actually find enjoyable. Reframe the hobby. It took me a long time to accept the fact that it's okay for me to spend my free time in ways that I enjoy, that maybe don't look like Pinterest, but it's still fun for me. I always romanticize this idea of like, well, if I have free time, I have no kids yet, I should be taking advantage of it, and my free time should just look so cozy and cute, and I should be like making arts and crafts. Except I don't actually enjoy doing that unless the arts and crafts are very purposeful, like designing my Christmas tree. There's just other stuff that I like doing better, and sometimes that is like solving little problems around my house, or doing my little journaling, or researching, or even writing. Content that actually really changed my mindset about this is this one girl on Instagram who talks about how hosting is a hobby, but no one ever treats it like it's a hobby. So she spends a lot of her free time preparing to host people, organizing get-togethers and gatherings for the people that she loves. And she said she got mental permission to do that when she reframed it as a hobby. And that reframe can extend to absolutely anything that you enjoy that isn't work, that feels satisfying and meaningful for you. If researching is fun for you, you have a hobby. If solving little problems around the house is fun for you and it doesn't feel like work, that's a hobby. If making fun and interesting meals that you find on TikTok sounds like a great time, your hobbies don't always have to look the way that hobbies traditionally look. Ryan Holiday's hobby is picking up litter around his town, which is a government job, but that's another conversation for another time. But it gives him satisfaction and it gives him meaning, therefore it's a hobby. I hope that something about this reframe will give you the mental permission that I got from it, which is that if you like it, you can do it in your free time, and that's okay. Your free time does not have to look a certain way as long as you're having a good time. If you liked this video and you want to change your relationship with your phone, I have a whole video talking about that in way more depth. This is more tactics, functional, physical things that you can do. That video is very much more psychological, change your relationship, practical things that you can do to just change how you feel about your phone, which is probably a better place to start than this video if you're just beginning this journey. I'm going to have that linked on the screen as well as down below. I appreciate you so much and I'll see you soon.